So I became a firefighter because of 9/11. I was almost 40 years old. I always wanted to do something to serve my community. And when I saw what happened on 9/11, that made up my mind. Shortly after that, I joined the fire department. I mean, it's a sense of community. It's a sense of service.
I decided to become a firefighter because my dad passed away when I was a kid, when we were scuba diving, and I couldn't save him.
I've been involved with the fire service for many years, since I was a child. I'm third generation firefighter.
And I wanted to figure out how I could save him. And I didn't become a firefighter right away. I became a lifeguard and wilderness first aid and a bunch of other different minor medical specialties first.
I've always been around the firehouse, always been involved in some way or another.
You know, some guys get hired as paid guys. You fight fire because you have to. Volunteers, it's a different breed. You fight fire because you want to.
Well, the cop's coming down.
All of times have come.
You fight fire because you want to.
Seasons don't feel the reaper, nor do the wind, the sun, or the rain. Be like they are. Come on, baby.
In a rural fire department, which is what we are, we do approximately 300 calls a year, which is pretty typical for a fire department like ourselves and the surrounding ones around here. The primary calls are going to be automatic fire alarms. Every commercial structure has to have one, so the likelihood that they're going to go off at some point is pretty common.
During a fire, my role as deputy chief could be standing outside, directing crews what to do, or I could be inside the fire with the guys, helping them as well.
I'm very guilty of trying to run a fire from the front door. I don't believe in a command post out at the vehicle. I like to run the fire from the door. If I'm sending guys in, I want to know where they are and I want to know what's going on. And if something goes wrong, I want to be one of the guys that's going after them.
I would say at every fire scene, it could be life or death situations. Something simple as something falling off the roof on a guy. That could kill them. Or a tree falling in a brush fire. Could be something as simple as that.
I would say all the time, almost everything we do can turn out bad. We see it in the news that something we did that went just fine didn't go just fine somewhere else, and then we get reminded of it and we gotta tell everybody, don't go near that. Just winching a car onto a tow truck, if that cable snaps, it could be the end of everybody standing nearby. You know, we have 100 of those that we go through on a daily basis in our heads because they've caused that in the past, and we got to remind ourselves, hey, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. And then the next day there's something new that we didn't even think of.
Anytime I have guys that I have to send into a fire, in my brain, it's life or death. Anything can go wrong at any given time. You don't know what's hidden in that building. You don't know what else could catch on fire, could flash over, could explode, the floor could give way, the ceiling could collapse.
Everything in this business can kill you, everything. So the more you know, the better you are. And you can't know everything because nobody can. So how do you manage that? Raising 3 kids and have a wife and soccer practice and coaching baseball. Like I need to know how to, if you drop, I need to know exactly what to do. And also not just what to do. You mentioned firefighter and captain difference. A firefighter does all the things to save your life. The captain makes sure that all the things are being done to save your life while managing all those people and making sure that Steps 2, 3, and 4 are already done.
You keep your head on a swivel when you send guys. It's one thing when I go in and I'm responsible for me, but when you send your guys in and you're responsible for them, it's a daunting task.
Important qualities of a firefighter should be devotion, hardworking, honest.
On our shirts, we have honor and pride, and I think those are two really important ones. Also, integrity.
We're very lucky here. We have a very dedicated staff. Even though they're all volunteer, our guys are always ready at the drop of a hat. So it is not uncommon on a Tuesday afternoon, if we have a small fire, for 15 guys to be there and 4 or 5 pieces of apparatus.
You know, if you're in this job and you don't have those qualities, if you don't have honor, you don't have integrity, it makes it 3 times as hard for all the guys who do. And just one guy that doesn't have that stuff and changes your belief as a kid of what it's like to be a firefighter, how much work do we have to do to get that back, right? So those need to be kept, because it takes a lot to get them back, and I'm not going down that road.
You know, when do you say, hey, we're not going to get this, and if I keep this up, I'm going to put my guys at more risk than I've already put them at? That's one of the toughest challenges, knowing when to say when. Fighting fire with your brain and not your heart.
Deep down in Louisiana, close to New Orleans, way back up in the woods among the evergreens, there stood a log cabin made of earth and wood, where lived a country boy named Johnny B. Good, who never ever learned to read or write so well, but he could play a guitar just like a ringing a bell. Go, go! Oh, Johnny,
It's the biggest event the town does every year. You know, thousands of people come to Carnival. That's our way of thanking the community. Is Carnival a fundraiser? Yeah. Do we want to make money? Of course we do. But thanking the community for supporting us during the year, you can't put it into words.
We like to see people afterwards. I think that's one of the things that I dislike, is that after they get carted away in the ambulance or after we leave their house, you know, we never see them again. So we don't know what happened to them.
Other than the birth of my daughters and marrying my wife, this is the best thing I've ever done in my life.
I've done fire prevention for a long time, and being around the kids that look up to it makes it for me.
Either saving the building or saving somebody's property or life.
So it's really awesome when they come back to the firehouse and say, oh, you remember me? You cut me out of this car. Or they stop by Carnival and you're like, oh my gosh, like.
You know, in a small town, you know, people know who you are. They know who the firemen are. And I think they probably treat you a little different.
I think. And also, if you're able to save anybody, but a kid too, that would be the most rewarding part. Making a difference, you know, saving somebody, making a difference. You know, we don't save somebody every day, so any kind of a difference that we make would be something that would be the most rewarding part.
Sometimes you almost don't even recognize them because now they're healthy and well, and like, that's awesome.
It's nice to be recognized by the community, but by far, this is one of the most rewarding experiences you can ever have.